Hi, Virgo rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 4th of May until the 13th of May. So, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be helping you to map out this 10-day astrological weather for you so that you can make the most of it. And I feel like you are currently being pulled between two very different worlds. That expansive, visionary ninth house and a bit of a healing, introspective 12th house. So you have a massive 10-day window ahead where your challenge is to take that grand big picture idea you have been potentially cultivating and ground them into your community, your daily work, and your inner psychological landscape. We are dealing with everything from financial strategy to a major shift in how you find spiritual harvest. So by the end of this video, you will have a tactical plan to integrate these energies. So let's get into the timing. But before I do that, I would like to invite you to my upcoming course, which would be very beneficial. It's going to be a 16-week masterclass series on relocation. And I'm going to be teaching you minimum 6 techniques how to determine the best place possible for a content life, a happy life, as well as I'm going to be walking you through certain type of timing techniques as well, so that you can determine the timing of the move. But let's get going. First up is May 4th, Ceres in Taurus in your ninth house, sextile Jupiter in Cancer in your 11th house. The ninth house is higher learning and philosophy. It sextiles the Jupiter in the 11th, the house of networks and long-term goals. So it really feels like this is your manifestation of your belief or beliefs day. So series ask you to nurture your worldview. Jupiter in the 11th house says, do it in a group setting, for example. So you are finding that the community you belong to, whether it's a professional organization or a social circle or even a study group, it's somehow kind of like becoming the perfect container for your philosophical growth. Now, this could be also brilliant for nurturing certain type of friendships, sitting down with people and then kind of like doing a bit of a brainstorming as well. This is brilliant for sharing your knowledge. If you have an expertise, present it to a group of people, present it online, for example. That could bring you certain type of growth. But at the same time, uh, focus on values as well. Ensure your network shares your core ethics. So, this is telling you to only surround yourself with people who are kind of like on the same wavelength with you. People who are going to be bringing you the growth that you actually deserve as well as you desire. And this is also brilliant for planning for the long run. So let's set long range goals for your community projects, online projects, and so forth. But don't become the know-it-all type. You share potentially your opinion with others, but we shouldn't be making it feel like you are lecturing others. And surely this transit is requiring you to be visible. So you cannot necessarily hide, basically, because then those gains that this aspect is promising you might not be coming around. And don't waste your time on superficiality. If a group doesn't align with your values, don't pretend it does. If you have to get out of a friendship or you have to leave a goal behind, do so. Mercury is in your ninth house as well, but squaring Pluto and Juno in your sixth house. And this is a bit of a tension. You desire to expand, to travel, to teach, and it's clashing with that perhaps obsessive or intense demand for efficiency or restructuring in your workplace. Pluto here makes your daily task feel heavy, all consuming. But Mercury makes that beautiful trine to the South Node. So you are a Virgo rising. Use that Virgo energy. Use your brain basically to automate the tedious work and utilize your analytical edge basically. But I think set a firm end time for your workday. This is not about overworking because Pluto can cause a bit of an issue, for example, in your sixth house, medically speaking. And Mercury is a medical planet in your chart because it rules your body. So let's just be um, mindful about that. And if you feel like that your current work habits are unsustainable, then why are we not changing them? These are fixed signs, so often we are trying to cling to something. However, don't bring the professional crisis that might be happening at your work to kind of alter your mind. Don't force a fix. If a process is broken, don't try to fix it perfectly today. We can maintain it as well, right? And maybe this is also an invitation not to make any type of like impulsive career changes. It's more to do with keeping the day-to-day, elements steady, and then you can start rethinking the bigger picture. Now, on the May 7th, Pallas conjuncts Neptune in Aries, which is your eighth house, the house of shared resources, death, and intimacy. So, this is a bit of a psychological detective transit, really. So it's about you seeing through the facade. If you're dealing with joint finances, taxes, or investments, you can have flash of genius regarding how to handle it. This is not necessarily just raw data that you are kind of acting on. You are also acting on an intuitive thought or a pattern you have recognized. This is about you auditing your shared accounts so you can look for errors, new opportunities in investments, or you can even trust your guts in intimacy. If something feels off, in a close bond, you might want to investigate the root cause of that. And your power pretty much comes from observation. We don't have to overreact. Don't act on your impulses. Don't make large risky financial moves based solely on a feeling though, because Neptune might do that. But also don't ignore your emotions either. Eighth house is super emotional, so treat that eighth house with sensitivity. And also, this is, the eighth house hates being vague. So if you need to communicate a boundary about resources, just be very crystal clear. Demeter enters Leo, which is your 12th house. It's a bit of a counterintuitive for a Virgo rising because Demeter in the 12th isn't about public work, right? It's about the harvest of healing. For the next 3 months, it's all about you doing the greatest work that is internal. It's kind of like you are tending that inner garden of yours when no one can see it. You are nourishing your mental health, your spiritual practices, and then your external life is going to start flourishing even more. So you can, this is somehow self-care for me, really. So you can really keep a journal, for example, around you and writing your dreams down. Let's sleep a little bit more. Let's have a downtime, but also let's be very productive as well at the same time. And you can even work behind the scenes on a creative project of yours, but something that is just for you. This is asking you not to do a lot of public type of stuff just yet. It says don't neglect the soul work. If you feel drained, don't push through. Retreat, rest, and don't overanalyze your inner state. Just let the healing happen, really. We don't have to force it because that Demeter is going to be opposing Pluto. So therefore, it's easy to force certain type of a healing within the body, but recovery is not something that we can just push. Now, Sun is in Taurus, sextiling Jupiter. So that's again another ninth and 11th house activation. So everything you have been learning or believing is now actually attracting the right people into your life. I love it. So your voice is resonant. So you can really use that voice in your community. It's about you. setting your vision and then sharing your vision, and then people start following you. So this is brilliant for social media channels, for example. This is quite a lucky day, especially for certain type of group or like group coordinations. Don't be shy, you know. You can really add a value to certain type of conversations. This is definitely, a social aspect. So let's go out, but we don't have to overplan. Let's just go with the flow. Mercury is even making a sextile to Jupiter, so we can finalize legal matters, contracts, academic, and travel plans with that. While Vesta is entering your eighth house, so you can really become dedicated to mastering your resources. And you can even take control of your debts and join assets. But you can, of course, start focusing on the partner's money as well. And maybe you want to be kind of like setting a budget when it comes to those shared expenses. But the partner wouldn't be happy if you were too rigid about it. Bacchus enters your 11th house, so this is about celebration with your core team. But don't let the fun kind of take over and then like turning into a logistical nightmare. This is keeping things fun, casual, but we don't have to overdo it. So it feels like that, yes, you have got a bit of an intellectual and workplace fiction going on, but there's a lot of healing opportunity for you this week as well. I think there is a real growth opportunity, especially coming from behind closed doors and doing some creative stuff. And it's all about managing your shared resources, managing shared resources, managing your own energy level as well, so that finally you can enjoy the fruits of your networking. So, I hope you found this forecast very helpful. If you do so, please like the video and subscribe for more. I'm Victor Simon, and I will see you in my next forecast. Take care. Bye bye.